it's kind of funny when you say it out loud. But I think like about 40% of the Olipop team is going to therapy or started therapy the first time. I tell that to some people and they're like, what are you like? Are they traumatized working with you? And like, no, I hope not. We're trying to like destigmatize the experience and provide access, and we create an environment where somebody's. What's interesting is like I'm a big advocate of therapy, and we've actually implemented a personal development stipend in Olipop, and one of the things that you can pay for with it is therapy, and the rest of the team like high fives them. Going to therapy should be like going to a gym for your emotions, right? It should be it's like destigmatized to that.
For sure, it's like I think connection's the biggest thing missing nowadays. And you go to therapy, you can connect with the therapist, you can connect with yourself, and it enables you to better connect with those around you, especially the team if they're upfront about the vulnerability, because you know that everyone's doing that. You bring everyone down to the same up to the same level.
The thing that has been incredibly impactful for me is something called EMDR. I'm not sure. Have you heard of EMDR?
Rings a bell, yeah. What is it?
But basically, the idea is that we have an easier time accessing subconscious information in what is the brain equivalent of REM sleep, which is why when you have your REM sleep, you have your dreams are your subconscious bubbling up. What happens, and this is why it was so useful for me, happens with a lot of traumatic information is you might cognitively understand it all day, but it's really hard to access and process emotionally. Like especially earlier in my life, there's a really big disassociation component, right? And I use that to get me through, but I would disassociate, which means I wouldn't actually be able to access it emotionally to process it. The amazing about EMDR is that EMDR actually kind of pulls that wall down, and then in a therapeutic setting, you can actually access it emotionally. And at the end of the day, the wounds are emotional. The emotional wounds generate the conceptual narrative structure. Just addressing it on the conceptual narrative level doesn't really hit the core wound. You actually have to get to it on an emotional level. And our brains do this tricky little thing, and they think they're helping us, but our brains are like, that was really intense. Let's split it up into a bunch of areas and make sure you don't access it ever again. But it's constantly this like thorn.
It's a defense mechanism, isn't it?
100%. Yeah. So I'm a massive fan of EMDR. I've had, hour and a half sessions that were more potent than anything I could have gone to in 5 years back-to-back talk therapy. Wow. So combining modalities, I think, is what's really useful.
Yeah, we had a Navy SEAL, William Branham, 26-year Navy SEAL, and he said the hardest thing out of his entire career was asking for help when he felt that he needed it. So
totally.
I think it's so, the stuff that you've shared there, thank you so much, my friend, just talking about as you said, to destigmatize it. It's like for anyone out there who's struggling with mental health, don't go through that alone. That is not strength. That is the complete opposite. Being brave enough to share those thoughts and introduce, welcome someone in to share that with you and get help is a big thing.